Hi everyone. Back in May of 2002 there was an article in the New York Times called 102 Minutes, and recently I found out that they'd actually made it into a book. Jim Dwyer and Kevin Flynn. 102 Minutes, the untold story of the fight to survive inside the Twin Towers. And what I need to say is that since I've been taking my bipolar meds, I rarely cry, rarely get sad even. What I do is kind of freeze up a little bit. I think the worst I'd ever been was off and on after my border collie buddy passed away in September of 2010, partly because he died at home and also that he's only 7 and very arthritic. But earlier, sitting outside reading this book, I just had to stop it at one point. The entire book itself has some of the history of the different building codes and how things were really messed up in the way people could or could not survive simply because of how the interior was designed more for rental space than for safety space, even to the point of comparing the September 11th somewhat to the Triangle Shirt Factory fire back in 1911. And past that, there's information from people making phone calls home, dispatch calls, and the like. This here is something that just made me pause after people had gone up to the 105th floor of the South Tower. They couldn't get out, and the sad part is many people were aware that the A stairwell was accessible all the way down, but it was not passed around enough, so people who were calling 911 wouldn't have that information. Other people that were being routed to other like dispatches on the ground floor or whatever, they were told that. Just complete lack of communication. But here we are. Many others who had climbed to the roof of the South Tower were also heading down, but not because they knew of a stairway that would carry them past the smoke and flames. They were simply trying to find a suitable place to make their last stand. Frank Doyle and some of the other traders from Keith, Bryant, and Woods struggled back to a conference room on the 88th floor. Doyle called his wife Kimmy from a working phone. "Hi, sweetie," he said. "We need your help. We've tried getting out on the roof, but the doors are locked." More than a dozen people from the firm were with Doyle, including Rick Thorpe and Stephen Mulderry, who had been on the phone with his brother Peter just before the South Tower was hit. Only one phone worked, and each person used it to make his essential calls. Stephen called Peter again. "Hey, brother," he said. "Thank God you're okay," Peter responded. "I'm really not," Stephen said. He recounted their failed attempts, both up and down, to escape. He asked for his mother's phone number because she had recently moved and he had not committed the new number to memory. And he told Peter that he loved him. "Are you sure there's no way out of that room?" Peter asked. "No, like I told you, we tried everything," Stephen said. We're just going to wait for the firemen to come get us, but it's a long way for them to come and the smoke's really bad. Some people are talking about throwing the fire extinguisher through the window, but I know that will be the end of us. But if someone panics and does it, there's nothing I can do. A few minutes later, the phone was passed to Rick Thorpe, who called his wife Linda at a neighbor's house. Earlier in the day, after the second plane had hit, Rick and Linda had agreed that she would go there with their baby Alexis. He would call when he knew more. But when the phone rang this time, for some reason, Rick could not speak. "Hello, Rick? Rick?" Linda called into the phone. There was no response, but Linda and her neighbor could hear the ambient noise from the conference room. People were coughing as it filled with smoke. They were having trouble seeing across the room. "Where's the fire extinguisher?" someone said. "It already got thrown down out the window," came the reply. "Is somebody unconscious?" asked someone else. Linda and the neighbor could not hear an answer. The voices of some of the other people sounded calm. Others trembled with strain. One man began streaming, the words lost to anguish. Another man tried to console him. "It's okay," the man said soothingly. "It'll be okay." And I had to stop there. Again, it's just one of those moments that you just have to stop. I can't explain it any other way, and I'm sure some of you experienced what I'm talking about, not so much emotion and wanting to cry or laugh or anything like that, but simply just stop. Not dwell on something, not wish on something. Just simply realize that exact moment and then you get past it. I don't know if some people might think of it like an invisible wall or a piece of data. I can't answer that. But for everything I've seen and everything I've read about 9/11, much of which I've had to do from YouTube and that, because of course they evacuated Chicago on that day. By the time I got home, even Flight 93 had crashed in Shanksville. And that part got me. Maybe even it was just a phrase of people leaving to go make their last stand. It got me thinking about where mine would be. But again, there wasn't the moment where I just stopped. Well, and that's just how the moment went. There would have been about 7 o'clock this evening, yesterday evening, and there would have been June 2nd, 2012. And I'm signing off. I just wanted to share.